Once again, welcome to the channel Unknown Warrior. So today we are going to see the next topic of software engineering, that is SQA, QA, and QC, RMMM. So we will start with the SQA. And what do you mean by SQA? So basically, this all SQA, RMMM, CMMI that we have seen in the previous video are used for getting the final destination for the software. And the final destination of any software is depends upon its quality, that how its production rate will be enhanced. The focus is only on two things, that is the quality of the software, and second one is its productivity rate. So the productivity rate will go high if the quality of the software is at its best. So basically, in various countries, there are some signs for the best quality products or the stamp given by the government for the products which are at high quality, like BIS hallmark, egg mark, ISI mark, FPO mark, etc. So basically, the techniques like SQA and RMMM and CMMI are used for getting the high quality product and enhancing or focusing on to get the high productivity rate. So let's see what is SQA. Before going to SQA, we will understand the term QA and QC, that is quality assurance and quality control. So quality assurance is a set of rules or standards that prevents fault from occurring based on development previous product. So basically, quality assurance focuses on uh, the occurrence of the faults. That is, it focuses on that the faults should not occur. Whereas quality management or quality control is the process that focuses on the correction of the faults if they occur. So basically, faults are nothing but mistakes, errors, defects, etc. So let's see the difference between the QA and QC or quality management. So QA is a managing tool, whereas QC is the corrective tool. Then second, QA is the process oriented, whereas QC is product oriented. QA focuses on proactive strategy and QC focuses on reactive strategy. We are going to see these two terms, proactive and reactive strategies, in risk management. Fourth one is prevention of defects, and QC focuses on detection of the defects. As already we have discussed, QA focuses on prevention of the defects, that the defect should not occur. And QC, if the defects occur, then how we are going to resolve those defects and how we are going to detect those defects. So QA is basically everyone's responsibility, whereas QC is focused by the testing team. QA is performed parallelly with the development project, whereas QC is performed after the final product is ready. Next is software quality assurance, that is SQA. So SQA is simply a way to assure quality in the software. It is the set of activities which ensure processes, procedure, as well as standards suitable for the project and implemented correctly. So, for getting the high quality product or high quality software, the SQA is implementing some procedure or some process based on the standards which are already defined by some best organizational groups. So these standards are particularly for software are IEEE, ISO, CMMI, etc. So if we say which are the ISO standards by using which SQA can get us the high quality product are, that is standard ISO 9000, CMMI model, and ISO 15504. So basically, software quality assurance is a process which works parallelly with the development process of the software. So major software quality assurance activities. So these are the following activities in SQA. So basically, first one is SQA management plan. So It is carried out throughout the SQA process. Next is it thinks when the set of the software engineering activities are the best for project. It checks the level of SQA team skills. So this all is considered in SQA management plan. Next is the set the checkpoints. So as we are having, for example, say one process, and after that process we want to have the look at the results of that process. So at that time, after a particular time or deadline, what we do is we check the result if it's matching with the user requirement or not. So at different timing we have some checkpoints. So SQA team sets those checkpoints. It evaluates the performance of the project on the basis of collected data on different checkpoints. Third activity is multi-testing strategy. So if we are using some tools for the testing, then by using only single tool is not giving us best or not detecting the all types of errors or defects. So for that, the SQA implements multi-testing strategy where multiple tools for testing are considered. So multiple tools can detect different defects or ensure that all the defects in the product is detected and solved. So this strategy is used when lots of testing approaches are available to use them. Fourth one is major change impact. So if we are developing one product and following some process, so after some developing, we found that there are many defects which are still to be resolved. So, what is the major change in the product development stage that we have to focus? So, this impact or this measure is come over in this activity, that is major change impact. Then the fifth is manage good relations. So, in development team or in testing team, there are the various chances that some strategies of different team members conflict with each other. That is, we can say that various team members can come up with different ideas, and those ideas can overlap or conflict. That is, each member says that his or her idea are the best than the others. So it is the work of the stakeholder or the testing team lead, that is nothing but heads, to resolve or manage these conflicts and maintain a good relationship between the team members. So this is the fourth activity which is covered in SQA. So next one is SQA process. So SQA process basically consists of four different types. That is development, and in development the focus is on research and analysis. Next is baseline system. The focus is on the prototype and design of the product related to the software development requirements or user requirements. Next is production, that is after the development of the product, the focus is on testing and planning. Next one is release to the market. So after overcoming the defects in testing part and after the playing the strategies for the development, the next process is released to the market. And when once the product is released into the market, the focus is on support, that is the feedback of the customers for the product which has been developed. Next point is the risk strategies. So basically there are two types of risk strategies, that is reactive and proactive. Reactive strategies are also known as firefighting strategy. So in this strategy, the software team does not focus on the occurrence of the defects or prevention of the defects from occurring. They focus on the development, and they only work on the defects if they occur. That is, they do not have any planning or any procedure for if the defect occurs. Here The strategy is that when the defect occur, then only the team will start maintaining, making the planning charts, then how to resolve those defects, and then partition them into the highly severe defects, right, or the highest possible or probability defects, and then medium defects, and then less severe defects. This is nothing but reactive strategy. Whereas in proactive strategy, it first at the time of the after before beginning of the development, or by taking the user requirements and doing analysis on the user requirements, they form a plan which includes that if the defect occur, what are the strategies to be applied, and they do not wait if the defect occurs. Once the defect occurs, they apply those already planned strategies on it and resolve the error. So, between this reactive strategy and proactive strategy, the best strategy which is considered is the proactive strategy. Why? Because the defects are solved within the less time period, whereas reactive strategy, it requires large time for solving the defects if occur. So development team develop a plan as respond in case a risk cannot be avoided. The primary objective of the proactive strategy is to avoid the risk from occurring. Next is risk monitoring and control. So it is about monitoring and controlling the risk throughout the project development. So it focuses on accessing the each and every identified risk regularly so as to check whether or not it is becoming less or high severe. So for monitoring and controlling this risk or defects, we have a strategy called RMMM. So what is RMMM? It is nothing but the risk mitigation, monitoring and management. So it is the most effective strategy for dealing with risk. So the three issues this RMM strategy handles is risk avoidance, risk monitoring and risk management. So first we are going to see the risk identification. In the risk identification step, the team systematically enumerates as many project risks as possible to make them explicit before they become problems. So mostly there are numerous risks that can occur while developing the project. So these risks are categorized into various types, that is generic risk, product specific risk, project risk, product risk and business risks. So here the project risk is means that while developing, if we found some errors in the code, or we can say while delivering the product, is nothing but the project risk. And next one is product risk. That is, if we have delivered the product to the customer and the product is having some issues, like say that the product is was under the direct sunlight. So this can be the risk related to that particular product when the product is delivered. Business risk are if the product is delivered and the users give negative feedback to that product and our productivity rate has decreased by all these years. So these are nothing but the business risk. So the factors to consider in the risk are people, size, procedure, technology, tools, organizational, managerial, customer, estimation, sales and support. Next is risk management. So how we are, if the risk occurs, how we are going to manage it. So first step that is but nothing, that is risk management cycle, in which the first one is to identify the risk, that is to make the list of the risk and set which risks are at highest priority, medium priority and the lowest priority risk. So after listing down this risk, so we are first going to try to solve the high risks which are having high probability of destroying the productivity rate or minimizing the productivity rate. So this is the first step of risk management cycle, that is to identify the risk and analyze them and then prioritize them according to their hampering to the product. So we make plan to resolve the highest probability risk that can cause high damage. So to maintain these levels of risk, we make a plan and it is the topmost priority. After making the plan, next step is to mitigate it and then to monitor the risk, whether the risks have become less or they have been rising, and which risks are been becoming less and which type of risks are becoming high. And if there are still risks, then we again are going to follow the same procedure till we get the minimum risk or no risk in our product. Next step is the risk management process. So as we have seen here, we have seen the risk management cycle. Here are the risk management process. Same, you can it is the same procedure, only the diagrammatical representation is different. Okay. Next is risk mitigation. As we have seen in the risk management cycle, we are at this third level for monitoring, before monitoring the risk, that is the mitigation step. Basically, what is risk mitigation? So it is related to the risk planning. Through risk mitigation, the team develops strategy to reduce the possibility or the loss impact of a risk. So risk mitigation produces a situation in which the risk items are eliminated or otherwise resolved. So main focus of the risk mitigation step is to identify the loss caused by the risk, and as we have studied that the risks which are at highest priority can cause the maximum loss. So which are the strategies we should apply to minimize the loss caused by those risks? So all this work is done by the risk mitigation step, and what it does, it eliminates the items which are causing the risk. So the main focus is to avoid the risk, and second is the protection from the risk. Then next is the last step in the risk management process is to monitor the risk, whether the risks are increasing or decreasing. So after risks are identified, analyzed and prioritized and actions are established, it is essential that the team regularly monitor the progress of the product and the resolution of the risk items, taking corrective action when necessary. So a project manager monitors the risk. So what he focuses is on access the predicted risk, assure about risk priority, collect useful information for current and its further occurrence. So this was for all three. So the main focus for today is we have seen the techniques which are going to provide the high quality products and ensure that the organization will set the benchmark for achieving the highest productivity rate for the given project in hand. So thanks for watching the lecture. Keep subscribing, keep liking and hit the bell icon.